I'm feeling low. Hey everybody, hope you're well, and it's James here, and we've got Dwight. We've had a little bit of a break, but we're back, and we have plenty of news today. I've even had to write it all down because there's that much. So let's get straight into it. Hey Dwight, how you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Sorry for the long time since we've had a chat.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I know that obviously the amount that you've done in just the small amount of time has been incredible, and I know that we're going to talk about quite a few topics today. I think in the Telegram people seen some what you declared as maybe bad news.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
going through the list, I'm going to probably say now I don't think it's bad news. I think it's quite good strategic news. But yeah, there's so much stuff here. It's really good. But I think we'll talk with the hot topic that's on everybody's lips right now, and that is obviously Digifinex. Can you just talk us through what the current scenario is with that at the moment?
Yeah, so we have been approved by the legitimate side of the business, which is a good thing. The fees are pretty extravagant. We're right at it's basically 8 Bitcoin. So today we're what about $82,000 or so to do the listing. I've been discussing the thickness of our book with some people that I respect a lot in the industry, and one of the things that they've all pointed out is that we have very thin books, which is pretty obvious. You know, we're truly seeing trading volumes on a daily basis. You know, if you get rid of the bot traffic, somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 a day. Digifinex's paperwork that they sent me, one of the stipulations they have where they can remove us is a lack of significant trading volume. So that being said, I think strategically what I'd rather do is focus more of the cash and the energy on actually getting the application out and building the user base of CRE holders through the actual freelance platform. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the website stuff. But I think that we've got to get a larger book going on, I think, before we add another exchange. I mean, that's if anybody looks at like Crypto Bridge, that's basically vaporware. You know, there's nothing going on over there, and LA Token and P2P are pretty much even as far as legitimate traffic going on. So adding a third one, although we may pick up a couple of buyers, I don't think is going to help us in the actual trading volume.
So are there any benefits from having a bigger book with Digifinex?
Yeah, yes, there is actually, and that's something they pointed out to me is the fact that if we have a larger book and more daily trading, that we would actually potentially be able to get a better price than the $80,000 from them. So that's a strategic thing. That's good. I don't want to spend $80,000 and then get booted off 2 or 3 weeks later because we don't have the volume. Because I'm gonna get one swipe at it probably, and I want to do it right. So, you know, overall. Although it's emotional not to turn on the big guys, because it makes you feel like you're a big guy, we're just not there yet. I mean, you got to kind of look yourself at the mirror and say, hey, am I Digifinex size yet, or are we not? And unfortunately, we're we're not quite there. We're working hard to get there, and I think with the addition of the freelancer platform, we're definitely going to be there. So, and like I said, we'll speak of some of those things later on in the conversation.
And what
But
sort
that's
of
bad, guys. So,
and just for people to manage people's expectations, when would roughly, and obviously we're not pinning you down to a date here, when would you probably see Digifinex as a real opportunity?
so if my goals come to fruition, and that is to have signed up about 100,000 freelancers over the next 45 days, then probably very shortly after that, I think we should have enough trading volume.
Okay,
So,
so anyway, in about 2 months plus,
yeah,
two
two
to three
months.
months
Yeah,
is a
correct.
realistic.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well at least that it just helps manage expectations in terms of where we are and obviously the growth that you sort of
right.
seeing at this moment in time.
Yeah. I mean, an exchange is not going to increase the price of the coin. That's something we kind of learned with P2P. You know, it doesn't. it takes a function of the coin or something behind the coin that's making that coin go up, not just being able to trade it in different platforms. So.
Okay, and you quite nicely dovetailed into there for my next question is about the website and the freelancer side.
Right.
Can you just talk about some of the plan that you've got there and because obviously the site went live just a couple of days ago?
Yeah. So we did a soft launch on it. We really didn't do any advertising or really speak much of it, but we launched the www.krios.io site is now actually live and available for freelancers to be signing up on. It's an exciting space. I mean, I gotta say that the amount of money that these other freelance sites are making, and some of the things that we have in the barrel basically that I think will compete nicely against them is going to make this a really, really, really exciting project. But one of the things that's important to us again is trying to get more people buying CRI and being able to trade it or to use it as a utility. So next week we'll be releasing a package that's added to the current website that allows all of the freelancers to actually purchase CRI directly from the website with a credit card. So we've been approved through Stripe to do all of this kind of stuff, and we're going to be selling the actual tokens to the freelancers. And you say, well, why do the freelancers need it? Well, we've come up with a program that allows the freelancers to have different levels of subscription. So there'll be a platinum, a gold, a silver, and a basic. And based on the level of subscription that you have, there are different benefits that each level have. So in all of the freelance applications, one of the things is how many people can you communicate with at any given time or have bids on jobs for. So in the basic mode, you're going to have two. So you can bid on two separate jobs. If you lose it, then you get your other one back and you can bid again. But as you get up to the platinum, we'll go as high as 100 different jobs that you can be bidding on. One of the other things that we're going to do to motivate the top two tiers is that if you're buying the platinum and the gold, is you'll actually participate in some of the revenue that the company receives from the fees. So initially, we're looking at about a 15% fee, and that will go down based on the amount of jobs that you do. So if you've done $10,000 worth of jobs, you're going to get a benefit. Your fee is going to go down. You actually make more money. So if you're charging $100 an hour, instead of you pocketing $85, you might pocket $87 or $89 or something like that. But you can also buy the platinum, and right now we're looking at 5%. So you'd pick up another 5% of that. So technically you could get up to where the company is only making like 7% of its fees, and the freelancer that's really working hard and doing a good job and getting good scores and all that stuff, they'll end up with what they should, more of the money. So those levels of packages are paid for in CRI. So the system will build them a Ethereum wallet that's ERC20. We actually keep the keys and we know the ways in to be able to trade on. It's kind of a company wallet in your name, and you deposit your CRI in there, and they can buy it on an exchange and deposit if that's what they want to do, or they can purchase it directly from us. But that in and of itself, we're hoping is going to draw quite a bit more trading activity. I mean, if we can get 10% of 100,000 freelancers over the next 45 days to sign up for this, that's a lot. That's twice the total number of wallets that's currently in the contract, and active wallets, it's 10 times as much as the active wallets. So that should be a good boost in the volume of trading. The company will collect the CRI back, which is kind of cool, as the fees, and then that will increase the amount of trading so that Digifinex becomes more of a option for us.
Actually, you're going to be reducing the supply slightly as well at the same time because you're holding.
Yeah, quite a bit actually. Yeah, because I mean, and it's going to be based on it's going to be a spot trade based on this CoinMarketCap's API price. So all of the exchanges that we have that report to CoinMarketCap, it'll be that price that they're paying for it when they buy it.
Okay, yeah, so that would be a good idea then to obviously have that Digifinex to back it up in terms of the averages and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
And in terms of the basic to the platinum, what sort of prices are we talking here? Is it
basic is as low as 495, and the platinum 1795.
okay? So
So,
it's really reasonable.
so yeah, they're reasonable, and that's on a monthly basis. And if you look at the competitors currently have, they only have one step. So like Upwork, I think it's $15 to get to their next step, but it doesn't help you in your fees. It doesn't help you in your listing. That's something I didn't really mention. So when I kind of came up with the idea, or technically Teresa came up with the idea. She said, do something like we had another company, Directory Central, where we did this with businesses, where it was kind of like AdWords, where if you paid some more money, you'd show up higher in the Google search. Well, if you're a platinum, you're going to get an additional percentage in the formula that we use to rank you. So and it's a long formula, but we're looking at the number of jobs you've completed, the percentage that you've actually bid on and won, all these different variables, and that's kind of we're trying to push the cream of the crop to the top. But if you're new, you can buy a platinum and you're going to get, like 70% of that love basically to move yourself farther up in the rankings. It won't get you ahead of somebody that's a rock star on the platform, but it will definitely get you up to where you're going to be on the first page probably. So, and the different levels have different percentages that get calculated into that formula as well.
Okay.
So it makes sense. I mean, especially for the startup guys, the guys that are trying to get seen for, programming PHP or, graphics design or, the amount of different jobs that we're listing out on that stuff. I mean, we're doing everything from, radio voices to programmers, to sysops, to take care of your machines and all that kind of stuff. So, there'll be a lot of need for you to show your name up higher, especially with the number. Hey, you look at some of these platforms like Upwork. I mean, they have over 1 million freelancers subscribed to that thing, and there's probably 200,000 of those are PHP programmers. So what?
Big industry.
How do you get to the top? So there's different things that the employers can request. Like location, if they want somebody closest they can to them, that's a sort field. It'll move the people that are closer to them up towards the top. But I think it's an elegant way to allow the freelancers to help affect, sales for themselves. So that's kind of what that package is set up for.
That's interesting. Yeah. Because I think if when you're new, it's always hard to get started, and actually it's found like a bit of a kickstart to help people.
Yeah, it is, and maybe they stay platinum, maybe they don't, but there'll always be new freelancers. It's a growing environment. I mean, the numbers are shocking. I mean, there was a report that was done not too long ago. I think it was Gartner Group that did it, and they said in the U.S. market alone, freelancers contributed $1.4 trillion in 2017. That's a staggering amount of employees that get to work from home. So, and that's just the U.S. And quite frankly, we're not the biggest. I mean, India is by far and above the largest freelancer market out there. So it's with the millennials and all these people that just don't want to, punch a clock or listen to their boss, squawk in their ear. They want to work at home for themselves. This is the way to do it. It's definitely growing. If you look at Upwork's SEC filings, you'll see they've had a nice, steady upward growth, and it's because it's become more popular for people to work from home.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely tick that box in terms of I don't want to do the commute every day across town, the cost, everything else, and actually to spend some more time with my son would be brilliant. I mean, I can get why people would want to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, we use them. I mean, true transparency, our sysop for all our computer systems lives in England, and he's on Upwork. And what I love about it is I pay him for when he works. If I need something fixed, he fixes it. It costs me $25 instead of a full-time salary.
Mm.
So it makes good business sense too.
Awesome.
So
Just in terms of staffing, shall we say? How is Joe, and are you looking for other people to join the project longer term?
yeah, yeah. So Joe's doing great. He's cranking it out. He sent me like a 40-page PowerPoint presentation the other day. I kind of gave him the task of looking at our competitors and evaluating what features they had that were popular that we might not have had, and things that we have that they don't have, to forward the marketing effort and development, because there are some holes in the software that we probably need to plug up here pretty quickly. But yeah, he's doing great. With the launch of the freelance platform, we're going to be looking for more remote workers to be customer service type individuals that will be able to help them with questions as to whether it's set up or not understanding what they're supposed to put in. We've kind of made it so that they have a whole resume. One of the additional things we're going to add to these plans is going to be the ability for them to have a personalized URL, so that their KRIOS page would actually be kind of like a LinkedIn page with a resume. So we'll definitely need some remote help for that. So we're scaling up. If anybody's interested in some part-time work behind a computer,
Working from home, perfect.
yeah, exactly. I'll even pay you on the freelancer platform for KRIOS. How about that?
And just on that note, with Joe, I think we're going to be doing a interview with Joe. So sort of like, how's Joe getting on? What he's been up to, what he's learned. So in sort of the time he's been in position, and obviously catch up with him because he was a very intriguing character.
Yeah,
I think he could have sold anything to anybody.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's very good, very good.
Yeah, I'll ask him if he wants to do the next one.
Cool. We've obviously got the Big Fish competition running at the moment. How's that gone so far? And obviously there's been a lot of questions come up. Maybe just clear up a few things on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I noticed in the Telegram group, everybody says, well, when does the Big Fish end? And a lot of people are replying September 10th. Well, technically, it doesn't end September 10th. So September 10th is the first bonus date that you would receive the percentage. So on September 10th, we mark what you have as far as CRE, and on October 10th, you get paid half of whatever level you were at. And then from September 10th to October 10th, you can accrue more and become a bigger fish and get more of a bonus, or stay the same. And then you get the other half of the bonus on November 10th. So there's a little bit more timeline on there than we currently have. One of the things that I'm a little shocked with, I was looking at the numbers probably last week, I guess it was, and there's a lot of people that have not signed up. So had I had to do it over again, I probably would have said, okay, here's a pool of CRE, and based on however many signed up, we would divide that pool up based on their percentages and do something more like that, because it's gonna cost me less than I thought it was. So
Okay.
we'll leave it we'll leave it at that. I was kind of thinking we were going to see about 90 million in the Big Fish contest, which should be pretty much most of the out in the wild, what I call CRE tokens, and not even halfway there. Okay. So I think that that's all good. The people that are in there, good. Looking forward to making those payments to you.
Yeah, well, it's tight. There's not many projects out there, and obviously all of the other things that probably we've got one big thing that we're going to talk about at the end, but there is that's the big reeling at the moment for me is that try and get as much as possible now. One, while the price is cheap, and the books are thin.
It's very cheap right now.
Fill your boots, if you will. And then obviously, you're going to get a bonus on top of that. And then on top of your bonus, you're going to get other bonuses, should we call? Not dividends, scribble that out. Bonuses. Yeah. So, and we'll talk more about that at the end. But it just makes It makes a lot of sense to me anyway. But
Yeah.
but like you say, how many people are just holding it and it's in a wallet and they've just forgotten, or
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I mean, when we did the audit on there, we found millions, I mean, tens of millions of coins that went to wallets that people just can't get to. I mean, it's not that they lost their passwords, although we have some of those. It's people that sent off non-ERC wallets that are, like a Coinbase address. It's gone for good at that point. I mean, do not send it to Coinbase.
beginner mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've all done it. We've all done it. I remember. I think, what did I say? I can't think what I sent, but now it's like, it's even with the market, it's about $2 a pop.
Yeah.
I can't think what it was, but I only sent a couple of tokens and I did it wrong and it was on the wrong network. But it was very, very early doors. I was experimenting and I lost some, and I think that happens to a lot of people when you're early in, when you don't know the ropes.
Always send test ones. That's my suggestion.
Always,
send a couple hundred or 10 or whatever, just to test and make sure that the other person's wallet's actually right and working first. That's just wise.
So, just based on, obviously, the Big Fish was a huge sort of marketing push. Over the next 6 months, what sort of marketing stuff is in the plan, and what can we expect?
Yeah, so we're, now that we actually have a product that we're in the process of launching, so we have the freelancer side. It's going to get probably 45 days before we turn on the ability for an employer to hire somebody, just so that there's a pool of people that the employers can pick from. We've been testing a bunch of different marketing. We've been testing LinkedIn marketing that seems to be doing really well. We've been testing Google, that actually test happens tonight. We've got a Facebook one running on an ad I put out there today. So we're going to be looking at which avenue seems to work the best for marketing. I've been invited to speak on 3 different radio talk shows about it. We're going to be in a magazine as a full-page cover, or not a cover, but a full-page ad inside of a magazine, and see how that treats us. We'll be doing some additional YouTube channel type work, and just getting the word out there. I've got some guys up in DC that are very, very good at getting backlinks out and the word out. So hopefully we'll start seeing some traction from that as well. But yeah, we'll be ratcheting up the marketing, because quite frankly, I mean, that really is kind of the next step. I mean, I think the design of the software is pretty much done. We're still in the process of actually writing a lot of the code, but the next step is definitely marketing it, because we need the employers and we need the employees on the platform. I mean, that's where the rubber hits the road.
And is a lot of it going to be through sort of the more digital format platforms in terms of advertising?
It is. We're looking at very specific targeting. So if you looked at like my targeting terms on the Facebook ad and stuff like that, I'm really focusing on people that work from home, people that are freelancers, and that kind of stuff. It's not just a generic ad that everybody gets to see. So I think, money best spent, that's probably our best way of going at this point. We are, one of the ladies in our Telegram admin group is pretty good at graphic art, and she's building a whole bunch of different regular ads, like display ads for computers right now. I have a partnership with a company that runs an exchange that is going to let me buy direct on that exchange for pennies per thousand. So on that, it won't be as targeted. We'll probably do some timeline targeting based on geos and stuff like that, but nothing that says freelancer only or anything like that. So that'll be kind of the big push of just trying to get people that aren't freelancers to look at being a freelancer.
Okay.
Very expensively, so it's good. I mean, normally, my background's ad tech. I used to have a huge exchange that we sold off to Rhythm One that literally does $400,000 a day of profit a day right now. I mean, it's crazy what they're doing, and it's amazing when you're at that level in the ad tech industry to understand that really most transactions can be had for 10 cents per thousand. where you go to Google and you're paying $7 or $8 per thousand. There's a lot of money in the balance between those, and it's because by the time the suppliers get it all the way over to like the Home Depots, it's just there's a lot of hands out that are trying to make money. So
I suppose that's why Google's so massive, isn't it? It's the
yeah, oh yeah. That's why they make so much money.
smart cookies. You won't be far
Yeah.
behind them, Dwight. You won't be far. So that's interesting to obviously see that's how that's going to ramp up. What I suppose the next big question, and I suppose the one thing that a lot of people have been waiting for is the whole. We're not going to call it dividends anymore. We're going to call it the bonuses. So, can you tell us more about the bonuses and how that works? Because there was a couple of scenarios that were potentially in play, and can you just give us the outline as it is now and where you?
Yeah. So I think everybody knows that we're spending a boatload of money with legal types trying to navigate the securities world here in the U.S. and make this a legitimate coin that we're not going to have any issues with. And where they are kind of landing, where they've landed, quite honestly, not kind of landing, but what they have told me to do is to create a platform that the CRI is truly an integral part of and continue to operate as a utility coin. And by having a substantial utility platform, giving out bonuses or profit sharing is certainly acceptable without calling it a dividend. And they think that will keep us out of any kind of SEC traps. It certainly would make enough of an argument that the SEC it would take a long time for the SEC to do anything about it. So that's kind of where we're going. The other big thing that I didn't know before, and I guess, I just didn't know it, so I'll take the blame for it. STO tokens virtually have no markets. There are no exchanges that operate STOs in the United States, period. Binance does STOs. It's almost impossible to get added to their STO, and you have to be on the world market, not on the US market. And I think that that's going to significantly affect the price. If you got to have somewhere to trade it. So if you got no exchange that's willing to take the liability of a securities token on, then you have a problem. And there's substantial liability to the exchange, because technically they are the gatekeeper to the KYC information. Even though we would do it ourselves under a securities token, they have to do it as well on their side. So, and I think we're actually seeing that, like Bitfinex, not Digifinex, but Bitfinex just got taken down pretty much here in the U.S. From the SEC because of that, because they're letting anybody get accounts if they use a VPN. They were doing nothing to try to prevent any of that or doing any KYC. So we'll end up staying a utility token. We'll end up giving bonuses that look just like a dividend. Same plan, same amounts. Trying to shoot for the same dates and all that good stuff at this point. But it will just be considered a bonus. So.
We're just rewording it.
We're just
rebadged it.
Or a profit. There's a profit share that's due on a certain date.
and just for some timelines in terms of, obviously we've got the big fish competition now. In terms of sort of the Ethereum bonuses that would be paid, what sort of dates and expectations do you have for everybody?
I'm still pretty confident that we'll see something pre-December for that. So that's what we're shooting for.
Awesome.
So. And
just in time for Christmas.
That will actually be, and I think probably to cover ourselves a little bit, and the lawyers like this idea, is that will be run very much like the big fish competition, with the one caveat that we will ask for some KYC information. And if the sign up for the dividends, aka bonuses, look like the big fish does, then because we are giving a pool of Ethereum, that would be distributed to less people, which means they're bigger pieces that people get. So
based on the current sort of sign up to Big Fish of 42 million, actually the dividend payment would potentially be double.
Potentially double, correct? Yeah. If people don't want to sign up for it, I'm not going to give it to them. The last thing I want to do is send Ethereum to an address that nobody can get to.
Yeah.
So
that might be a very happy Christmas, Dwight.
yeah, could be.
Trading Ethereum.
Shooting for.
Awesome. Is there anything else that I've missed today, or is that all the good stuff that you've got for everyone at the moment?
No, I mean we're hard at it. You know, I know, and a lot of people understand that I had some personal issues with my mother's health and stuff like that, and I appreciate the prayers that they've given her. It's difficult times. You know, it's a sad situation. You know, she's stage 4, so there's you know, at this point it's just trying to make sure everything's comfortable. But fortunately, you know, she knows where she's going, and that's a good thing. And that's really what's important. But we're working hard. Unfortunately, you know, I'm sorry for not having been as transparent and communicating more often, but we'll keep up the good work and try to close the timelines of these videos up a little bit.
No, I think that's, you know, I don't think anybody out there is, you know, if you have to take a week or two, you know, everybody understands, and we're just, you know, thoughts and stuff with you and your family, really.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's a tough time. But no, I've got to say a massive thank you for all your hard work so far, and Dwight Speed really is in play.
A lot more to go, but we're keeping the candles burning.
Awesome. Brilliant, Dwight. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you for your time today. And again, we'll see Joe on the next video, and hopefully again yourself soon, very soon.
Yeah. Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.